Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see what is aggregator transformation and how to use it in Informatica IDMC. First, let us understand what aggregator transformation is. So, aggregator transformation allows us to group data and perform calculations like sum, average, count, and more. Right? So, examples are like when you wanted to calculate the total sales for each product or region, right? And to find the salary of employees in each department could be one example. And if you wanted to count the number of orders per customer, so there could be customer orders table and you wanted to calculate the number of orders per customer. So to calculate that count, all these are the examples where we can use the aggregated transformation. Now, let us take an example. So, imagine you work in a finance department and your CFO wants a quick summary of how each department is spending monthly. So, instead of manually adding up the expenses, we can use Informatica IDMC in this case. So, how do we do that? So, assume this is the table of expenses by departments, different departments. And you can see expense ID, which is a unique ID, like the employees of each department when they submit the report, right? So assume this will be the table generated, like the department of the employee, expense ID. So this will be like expense ID of the report submitted, right? And in which month it was submitted and the expense amount, right? So this is the table of expenses by each department, right? Spent in each month, right? Now, what we wanted to do is we wanted to get like the total spent by each department and that too month wise, right? So like, we need the group by department as well as monthly as well, right? So that is what we wanted to achieve now. So this is the, let's consider this is in Oracle data. This is in Oracle database, right? So this will be our source. And we wanted the so the target will generate it a flat file, CSV file, where we'll be having the total spent by each department month wise, right? So that is what we wanted to achieve. So let's do that. First, let's log in into the Informatica IDMC and we'll select the data integration service. Then we'll click new and we'll create a mapping. So name your mapping and select the source, configure the source. So the source here will be Oracle for me, where I have the expense table. So I'll be selecting the expenses table. Will be my source. We can check the fields. Department, expense ID, month and expense amount. All right. So now we'll select the aggregate transformation. You can click here and select the aggregator. So aggregator transformation. So how do you configure it? Let's see that now. So incoming fields will come from the source. You can see that here and group by. So on which field we wanted to group by. So we wanted the total expenses by department, right? So we'll add department. And also each department spent month-wise, right? Monthly. Say for example, HR department. So HR department spent in first month. Same HR department spent in second month. Like that we wanted. So we need to select two fields here. We need to group by two fields, department as well as month. So we'll select month as well. And then this is what we wanted to group by, right? So we wanted to group by department and also month wise, right? So this is the reason we selected month as well. Next, select aggregate. So here is the place where we will actually select the aggregate function, what we wanted to do. We wanted to actually get the sum of the expenses of each department, right? So click on this button. So where we'll actually need to create a field here, right? So we need to create one output field. So I'll actually name my output field as total expense. So this will be an integer, or you can have it as decimal as well. Anything should be fine. And then we need to configure the expression. So expression Here we'll be selecting the built-in functions. Here you need to choose aggregate. So what we wanted to choose? We wanted to get the sum, right? So select the sum function. Sum of what? So go to fields again. Sum of expense amount, right? So select expense amount. We need the sum of the expense amount. Group by department and monthly, right? So just validate this expression. So the expression is valid. Click on OK. So this is how we actually configure the expression and the aggregate function, right? So now, after finding the sum of the expenses, right, on the expense amount, then we wanted to write it onto the target. So our target will be a flat file. So I wanted to generate a report just for a consolidated view, right? So my target will be a flat file. So we'll be generating the CSV file, target, incoming fields, and we don't want all these fields. So I'll select named fields and we'll select only department, month, and total expense. Department, month-wise, and what's the total expense. So if you notice, this total expense is coming from our aggregated transformation, right? Now you'll configure target. My target connection will be my flat file. So let me show you where the local flat file directory is pointing to. So this is the location. So let's go to this location. So you can see this is my target location where we wanted to generate the target flat file. So let's go back and test the connection. Yeah, connection is successful. We'll create a new file. So we'll create a new file at runtime and I'm gonna name it as monthly expense. Monthly expense summary, something like that. This is the file we wanted to generate at runtime. So just click on OK. Yeah, there will not be any field mapping and target fields as we are generating a new target at runtime. So you can validate the mapping. So click on this validation to validate the mapping and it says valid. So save the mapping. And now we can run the mapping. It converts to the mapping task. So make sure you select your runtime environment correctly and also make sure this all the services in your secure agent are up and running. And then click on run. You can track the job status here in my jobs. So it's starting, it's queued and it is running now. Yeah, success. So just click on the job details. So you can see success rows 15. Source has 15 records. So you can see here, there are 15 records. Right? And target has only 9 success rows because it is grouping the records, right? And getting department wise and monthly wise. So we'll see that now. So we'll go back to the target location. Now a new file has been generated. So we'll see the data in it. The data should be grouped by department and month wise. Yeah, and you can see here. So in this file, so each department and month wise. So HR department, February, and the total expense within the February. HR department within January had this total expense like that, right? So department wise and also monthly. In which in the 1 month, so like January, IT department has spent this much, right? Like that. So as we group down like on 2 fields, we are getting both like 2 fields, department wise and monthly as well, right? So this is how we actually we can use aggregator transformation, and use the aggregated functions, right? According to our requirement. right? So, you know, it's a great way to summarize large data sets quickly and extract meaningful insights out of it, right? And you can apply this same approach to other areas like, calculating expenses spent in a month, average expenses spent in a month, and, total number of expense reports submitted by each department. What are the maximum expense reported submitted department. So which department is submitting maximum reports. All these also can be done using the aggregator transformation. So you just need to, all that can be done in the mapping itself, like in the aggregator transformation. Here is the place where we actually select that. So here we selected this in the built-in functions. We had functions, right? So you can see average. You can count the number of records like that. What's the max, min, all these functions we can use according to our requirement, right? So always double check your group by fields to avoid incorrect aggregation. So here is the place where we actually select the group by fields. So, and also make sure to choose the right aggregate function based on your use case, right? So that's it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more tech content. And as usual, if you have any questions or run into issues, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to help out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.